I have to say, watching that video, I have not watched that video all the way through. And that happened in about October of 2024. That last video on part 3 that I'm referring to. I didn't even realize it was over 150 because he really just didn't want to buy. My son was coming out here and he really didn't want to buy the ticket. He would rather spend money on me, but he tries to act like, oh, this is a family thing and those kids are my kids and yada yada yada. Okay. Watching that was just so traumatic because what he likes to do is do very toxic behaviors and operate in dysfunction and toxicity and then cover it all with, I'm doing this because I love you. Okay. Moving on. Next incident happens when I'm in the house. He works overnight. And I started to try to kind of figure out where the patterns were coming from. But a lot of the time, the pattern came when he was at work because he wanted to be with me. He felt like, and he would say this, he felt like I needed protection. So for him, he needed to be with me all the time. When I went out, he didn't like me to go out by myself. And towards the end of that last video, you will hear me say, I gave you the tracker. So he has started to request my location, that we have locations on at all times. Which I was really trying to figure it out because the gaslight is real. So I'm really trying to figure it out, like, why do you need a tracker for? And all of this started when one day I went out with some of my homegirls after work. Was I after work? Yeah, I think it was after, no, I wasn't working at the time. I'm sorry. This was one of my homegirls that I had met out here. And sometimes if you're from Houston, you know, Houston is like a big HBCU. We like to go out to one place. We might start off at like Moxie's, and then you might end up meeting more people, and then we end up going to Koya, or, you know, if you're from Houston, you know what it is and how we get out. So he didn't like that. He liked, like, if I got off of work, I had to tell him, hey, this is where I am. I'm at Moxie's. And so his expectation is that I would be at Moxie's for the night. And if I decided to go to another location, I would actually have to call him then and let him know, which was so excessive, especially coming from a woman who, I've been a pretty independent woman. I did the marriage thing years ago, and then after that I've dated, but I'm still a very independent woman, and I took care of 2 kids. So for me now to feel like he wants me to dumb myself down to being a child that has to ask for permission was, again, another red flag. So just to keep the chaos down, because it was so much stuff going on, I decided to give him the location to make sure, you know, that we both had locations if it made him feel comfortable, because I wasn't doing anything. For the most part, I was just doing a lot of networking, and I was in the house doing a lot of editing for videos for clients and hair. That's pretty much what I was doing. I really didn't have anything to hide. So this next incident, he comes in the house, and it's about the time that he's supposed to come in the house. The only difference was he would come in at about 7:15 in the morning, and then he would have to take a shower and then get ready to go to the VA in the morning at about 9 o'clock. So I had no idea that this was about to happen. And a lot of the times when you're dealing with these psychos, this is a crazy fool. We're going to call him crazy fool. When you're dealing with these type of crazy fools, you never know when you're about to get the whole, like, the full-blown dramatic experience, right? Because they sit back and they make things up in their head, and then they actually think it's reality. And now they come in the house arguing with you about things that you were blindsided to, okay? So he comes in the house, this next incident, and he's just staring at me again. And I wake up and I'm looking at him and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong now? So he's like, you know what's wrong? And I'm like, no, I don't know what's wrong. And he goes into my closet and he goes into my purse and he grabs a spoon out of my purse. I had a spoon in my purse, and it had foil over it. So he's like, this, right here. He's waving the spoon around. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, hey, why are you going through my stuff? So now you're going through my things, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, you're doing crack. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, crack? Like, y'all, seriously, nobody that knows me would ever hang around me and go, yeah, this bitch does some fucking crack. So I'm like, because, I mean, I can fight real shit, right? If you didn't like the outfit that I had on, I can combat that. If I turn my location off, I can combat that. I know you're going to have it. But he's coming up with stuff. I said, Miles, people call him Miles, I'm sorry. He always goes by his last name because he used to be in the military. I said, Miles, I have my own like utensils and everything when I go to work. So when I'm at work, when we eating, I have my own, like, I like silverware. I'm a little on the bougie side, y'all, little bit, not all the way, but I don't want to eat off of plastic stuff or whatever, but I also don't want to eat off of something that everybody else has been eating off of. I will go to a restaurant and do that, but I'm very picky, even if they have watermarks and stuff like that. Here nor there. If you know me, you know. If you don't, I mean, I guess. So he's like, yeah, you're doing crack. I mean, and he was really going on with it. And I'm like, what in the fuck is this man getting this shit from? And so I'm like, you know what? This is too much. Like, every day, and not every day, it's about 2 days out of the week, there's always some like issue with this man. I mean, this motherfucker has serious PTSD, okay? And I really don't recommend anybody dating anybody that has been in the military or that has any type of job where they experience PTSD, because these motherfuckers are cuckoo and they off. And this motherfucker is a prime fucking example. Michael Miles, a prime fucking example of some old cuckoo bird. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm going to the gym. I don't know what type of stuff this man be on. Like, I have to get on the phone with my friends. And I'm like, constantly having to explain, do you know he did this? Do you know he did this? But to come in with a spoon and talk about crack, I was just blown, okay, at this point. So I'm talking to one of my friends, and he just was like, Marquita, you said, you know, you have to understand he's an older man and that's a part of his generation. You know, don't get me wrong. We might smoke some trees here and there. You know, our generation will smoke a little trees. Their generation was doing crack. So he's calling me or whatever, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, I'm hot. I'm mad because who the fuck wants to be accused of smoking crack? Bitch, you could have said cocaine and I probably would have been a little more understanding about that. You ain't gonna fucking put no damn crack on me. Your mama do crack. I don't do no fucking crack. That's your mama. Okay? That's what the fuck you're not realizing. So that happens, and then I'm just like, this motherfucker is cuckoo. So I'll call one of my friends that lives in the complex, and I'm just thinking about just getting out of here. So I pack up my stuff. He goes to work. I pack my stuff and I leave.